Well, a star college football player has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against a school he never attended. 2 years ago, Jaden Rashada was named as one of the 30 best high school football players in the nation. He had top offers from top schools across the country, but it was nearly a $14 million NIL contract to play at the University of Florida that brought this California prep star more than 2,000 miles away from home. Now, those millions of dollars never materialized. And now Rashada is suing. Dan Lust is joining us now. He's a sports attorney and sports law professor and the host of Conduct Detrimental, the podcast. Dan, thanks for joining us on this, and fill us in on the details of the suit, because it's been called catastrophic for either side, depending on how this goes. Is it simple breach of contract? Is this something more?
Definitely something more. And I will say, Natasha, we've been kind of monitoring this lawsuit for 2 years. I've been lecturing on it, and we've been kind of saying there's 13 million reasons for Jaden Rashada to sue. And he didn't go to Florida, as you mentioned. He was at Arizona State and now at Georgia. And now in SEC country, I think he has even more of a reason to come after Florida. So I think what's important to point out in this NIL landscape, two things are very clearly not allowed still, even to this day, right? You can't have pay-to-play arrangements. That's paying for a player's salary to play at a particular university. That's not what we're dealing with. Number two is a school getting directly involved in those negotiations, basically facilitating that payment. That's not to say that that hasn't happened in this landscape, but this is the first lawsuit which seeks to bring that to the surface about a coach's involvement in a particular recruiting or payment arrangement, we'll say. So, yeah, I mean, things in this era have been called the wild, wild west, and certainly some payments to players are allowed for NIL purposes. But this lawsuit, as you mentioned, is directly against the head football coach at the university, Billy Napier. So this is very much an allegation against Florida, right, through the process of vicarious liability or respondeat superior, suing the employee of a university because of their acts. And as you kind of alluded to, it's not just breach of contract. These are allegations of fraud, tortious interference with the contract. There's a recruiting battle against Miami. So there is a lot of layers to this and a lot of big players in the college space that are tied to this lawsuit.
Yeah, and Dan, why is this a big deal? Because I know this is the first time an athlete is suing a coach over a failed NIL deal. Why is the coach being looped into all of this? Is it because of this alleged promise of $1 million wired directly to him if he signed, and that just didn't happen?
You know, the people in the space are saying, you know, coaches make promises all the time when it comes to playing time or jersey numbers or whatever else, right? The reason that the coach is getting involved here is because we're now in the world of business and torts and fraud, right? So these allegations are tied to Florida boosters and a Florida collective making a representation that he would be paid $13 million over the course of his career as a Florida Gator. Now, as part of those promises, Jaden Rashada is alleging that the promises from the coach, Billy Napier, are what induced him to change his position, to flip from a commitment to the Miami Hurricanes over to the Florida Gators. And absent that representation made by one of Florida's employees, he wouldn't have made that flip. So this is really an allegation of fraud, is what's in the complaint. Again, every plaintiff bears the burden of proof, and we're not really sure if that's true or not, but that's what's being alleged, that a misrepresentation was made by coach to player. Yeah, so this is much deeper than simple breach of contract or simple, hey, it didn't really work out. And
so
this other
you
player
fraudulently brought me here. You promised me this money. You promised me $1 million wired, and I wouldn't have agreed to it if you didn't do it. Let me ask you, if this goes Rashada's way, if he prevails, what is the wider impact? How does this likely change things?
Yeah, I think very importantly for athletes and agents, the allegation here is that a $13 million contract was agreed to, but only, I think, about, at least according to the plaint, $150,000 made it into the athlete's pocket. So if you're going to make that type of commitment, switch from school A to school B very publicly, you need that cash in hand, right? You need more than pennies on the dollar with respect to the total value amount. You need some type of real upfront legitimate payment to tie that collective or that booster to that particular contract. So here, $150,000 in the grand scheme of things is very little on a $13 million commitment. So I do think that this will be a watershed moment for the space. You can't just agree that I'll get paid some large amount of money later when the contract may permissibly be terminated. So I think this will change, the athlete representation space very much so.
Okay. Dan Lust, I appreciate the context and time. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.